Forget the traffic jams. Forget the airport security lines and the mad dash to a distant gate. Forget the stress of it all. Because the real, untamed heart of America, you won't find it off a freeway exit or hear it over a boarding call. It's hiding in plain sight. It's in canyons carved by ancient rivers, along coastlines pounded by the Pacific, and across plains so vast they seem to swallow the sky. There's a better way to see it. A more relaxed, more romantic, and honestly, a more profound way to travel. Today, we're climbing aboard 5 legendary train journeys. These are trips that slice through landscapes so remote and stunning, you simply can't get there any other way. We're going to find America's wild side, by rail. We'll glide through mountain ranges, hug dramatic coastlines, and roll through the very heart of the country, all from a seat with a front row view to the greatest show on earth. So, find a seat, settle in, and get ready to see an America you've only dreamed of. The Coast Starlight, where ocean meets mountain. Our journey starts on the west coast with a train that has truly earned its legendary status, the Coast Starlight. It's often called one of the most spectacular train rides in North America, charting a 35-hour, 1,377-mile course between Los Angeles and Seattle. This is a journey of incredible contrasts, where the scenery transforms right before your eyes. Think of it as a story in 3 acts. Act 1 begins in the sprawl of Los Angeles. As the train pulls out of historic Union Station, the city's concrete maze slowly dissolves into rolling California hills. And then, it happens. The train banks west, and all at once, the vast, shimmering Pacific Ocean fills your window. For hours, the Coast Starlight hugs the coastline, on a path so close to the water you feel like you could almost reach out and touch the waves. No car on the Pacific Coast Highway can give you this view. You'll glide past the sun-drenched beaches of Santa Barbara, watching surfers ride the waves as palm trees sway in the breeze. This stretch, only accessible by rail, is pure coastal magic. But the real genius of the Coast Starlight is its split personality. Just when you're hypnotized by the ocean's rhythm, the journey pivots. As the train pushes north into Oregon and Washington, the landscape rises into some of the most formidable mountains in the country. The gentle sound of waves is replaced by the stoic silence of the Cascade Range. From the panoramic windows of the Sightseer Lounge car, a rolling observatory open to everyone on board, you'll see the snow-capped peak of Mount Shasta dominating the horizon for hours. You'll carve through dense, emerald forests and cross deep river valleys. It's a seamless transition from the sun and salt coast of Southern California to the rugged, alpine wilderness of the Pacific Northwest. This one journey delivers 2 of America's most iconic landscapes right to your window. The California Zephyr, the cross-continental epic. If the Coast Starlight is a love letter to the West Coast, our next journey is the grand tour of the entire American West. This is the California Zephyr, a name spoken with reverence by travelers. It's a massive 52-hour, 2,400-mile odyssey from Chicago to the San Francisco Bay, and it is, quite simply, one of the most beautiful train trips in the world. This is not for anyone in a hurry. This is for people who want to see the full story of America unfold, landscape by landscape. The train becomes your home, a moving bubble traveling through time and terrain. The heart of the experience is the double-decker Sightseer Lounge, with its floor-to-ceiling windows that curve up into the roof, giving every single passenger an unbelievable panoramic view. The journey starts with the quiet majesty of the heartland. After leaving Chicago, you cross the mighty Mississippi and roll through the cornfields of Iowa and the endless plains of Nebraska. As day turns to night and back to day, you can feel the elevations subtly changing. The world outside is getting bigger, emptier, and a whole lot more dramatic. But it's the second day when the real show begins. You wake up in Colorado, and the train starts its heroic climb into the Rocky Mountains. The engineering here is incredible. The train snakes its way up the front range, tackling legendary feats like the Big Ten curve to gain elevation fast. You're no longer just passing through the landscape, you're wrestling with it, climbing higher and higher into the wilderness. And then you get the showstopper. The moment that proves this is America's wild side. You enter Ruby Canyon. This 25-mile-long gorge on the Colorado-Utah border is carved by the Colorado River, its walls are brilliant, fiery red. And here's the thing, there are no roads here. You can't drive through Ruby Canyon. You can't see it from a scenic overlook. You can only get here 3 ways, by foot, by raft, or on this exact train. As the Zephyr winds through the canyon, it feels like a secret, a privilege. You're seeing a part of America that remains pristine, isolated, and truly wild. The final act is the crossing of the Sierra Nevada. Here, the train hugs the cliffs high above the stunning, deep blue Donner Lake, a bird's-eye view of the historic mountain pass. From there, it's a long, gentle descent into California, a slow return to civilization after a journey through the very soul of the American wilderness. Pausing here for just a second. This is the kind of travel that really sparks the imagination, right? It just makes you want to pull out a map and start dreaming. I want to hear about it. Let me know in the comments which of these routes you want to take first. Are you Team Coastal Charm or Team Mountain Majesty? And hey, if you're enjoying this journey, do me a favor and hit that subscribe button. It makes a huge difference and ensures you won't miss the incredible places we're headed to next. Alright, let's get back on the rails. The Empire Builder, following Lewis and Clark from the sun-scorched canyons of the southwest, we now head north, to trace the path of pioneers. We're boarding the Empire Builder, a mighty train that carves a 46-hour path from Chicago to the Pacific Northwest. Its tracks actually split in Spokane, with one route heading to Seattle and the other to Portland. This isn't just a train ride, it's a journey through history, following long stretches of the trail blazed by Lewis and Clark. The Empire Builder is an adventure through rugged, majestic wilderness. After leaving Chicago and crossing the Mississippi, the train pushes into the vast plains of North Dakota under a sky so big it feels infinite. You'll feel the train suspend itself over a valley as it crosses the spectacular Gassman Coulee Trestle. But the absolute centerpiece of this journey is its passage right along the southern edge of Glacier National Park in Montana. This is one of America's wildest, most iconic national parks, a land of deep valleys, pristine lakes, and soaring, glacier-carved peaks. The train doesn't just pass by the park, it stops right at its doorstep. You can literally step off the train at one of 3 stops and walk right into this natural paradise. From your window, the views are just breathtaking. You'll trace the turquoise waters of the Flathead River as it winds through the forest. This is Big Sky country, and the sheer scale of the mountains is awe-inspiring. It feels like a land untouched by time, and the train is your warm, moving sanctuary through it all. It's common to spot wildlife here, a constant reminder that you're just a visitor in their wild home. When the train reaches Spokane, it does something unique, it splits in 2. One branch continues to Seattle, offering beautiful views of Puget Sound. The other heads down the Columbia River Gorge toward Portland, a scenic wonder in its own right with views of Mount Hood and the iconic Beacon Rock. The Empire Builder feels like a time machine, taking you back to an era of exploration in a landscape that's just as magnificent as it was centuries ago. The Pacific Surfliner, California's coastal gem. Not every wild journey has to be a multi-day epic. Sometimes, the most amazing escape is just a few hours away. For that, we turn to the Pacific Surfliner. This beloved Southern California route runs from San Diego all the way to San Luis Obispo, but its real magic is what it helps you avoid: Southern California traffic. While millions of drivers are gridlocked on the freeway, staring at an endless sea of brake lights, passengers on the Surfliner are gazing out at dolphins and surfers. It's the ultimate choice: stress, or serenity. On the incredible stretch between San Clemente and Santa Barbara, the Pacific Surfliner hugs the coast so tightly that it feels like you're floating just above the sand. The views are immediate and immersive. You roll past world-famous surf breaks, charming beach towns, and steep coastal bluffs dropping into the ocean. It's not about speed, it's about the view. It's about sipping a drink and watching the golden hour light up the Pacific, a simple luxury that feels a world away from the freeway. With multiple trips every day, the Surfliner is both a convenient commuter line and a scenic escape. That flexibility makes it perfect for a spontaneous day trip. You can see one of the most beautiful coastlines in the world without a single moment of traffic-induced rage. It's a short, sweet, and stunning reminder that you don't have to cross a continent to find a slice of the wild. The Lakeshore Limited, the Northeast's hidden gem. Our final journey takes us east, on a route that showcases a different, more subtle, but equally beautiful side of America. We're boarding the Lakeshore Limited, an overnight train connecting Chicago with New York City. It follows a historic, water-level route, a path chosen a century ago because its gentle grades made for a smoother ride. This train follows the path of the legendary 20th Century Limited, trading jagged western peaks for the sweeping shorelines of the Great Lakes and the ancient, rolling hills of the east. Leaving Chicago, the journey starts along the southern shore of Lake Michigan, a vast inland sea stretching to the horizon. The train then traces the edge of the Erie Canal and follows the beautiful shorelines of the Mohawk River. While it doesn't have one single showstopper like Ruby Canyon, the beauty of the Lakeshore Limited is in its constant, unfolding tapestry of American life and landscape. You'll glide through the industrial heartland, past quiet towns, and into the forested slopes of the Allegheny Mountains. But the grand finale of the eastbound journey is the run down the Hudson River Valley. As the train nears New York City, it hugs the banks of this wide, historic river. You'll see picturesque lighthouses, grand estates perched on the hills, and the beautiful Palisades cliffs. You're traveling through the very landscapes that inspired an entire school of American painting, and you have the best seat in the house. This trip is a great reminder that wild doesn't always mean remote or extreme. It can also be the quiet beauty of a river valley at dawn or the vastness of a great lake at sunset. Authenticity and the romance of the journey. Now, let's be real for a second. A long-distance train journey in America isn't always perfect. These trains often run on tracks owned by freight companies, so delays can and do happen. You might find yourself sitting on a siding, waiting for a mile-long freight train to pass. Schedules can sometimes feel more like a suggestion than a guarantee. But that's the trade-off. You are consciously stepping away from a world of rigid timetables and instant gratification. You trade absolute punctuality for an experience. You trade speed for space, space to think, to read, to talk to people, and to just watch the world go by. There's a romance to it, a built-in nostalgia that forces you to slow down. A potential delay is just the price of admission for a front-row seat to landscapes you literally cannot see any other way. So there you have it. 5 journeys, 5 completely different visions of America's untamed beauty. From the Pacific shores of the Coast Starlight to the mountain heart of the California Zephyr, from the pioneer trail of the empire builder to the quick coastal escape of the Pacific Surfliner and the historic waterways of the Lakeshore Limited. These aren't just train rides. They are rolling gateways to America's wildest places, to mountains, canyons, and coastlines that most people rush past on a highway or fly over at 30,000 feet. The observation car becomes your front row seat to a show that's been millions of years in the making. This is a different way to see things. It's a reminder that sometimes the journey itself, the slow unfolding of the landscape, the rhythm of the rails, the time to just be, is the real destination. It's an invitation to disconnect from the chaos and reconnect with the vast, wild, and beautiful country that lies just beyond the tracks. Which route would you take first? Let me know down in the comments. And for more journeys into the heart of America, make sure you subscribe and join us for the next adventure.